Well, here we go again. Episode 5 of Secret Invasion. The first 2 episodes still allowed hope for a great show, which was ultimately shattered by the third entry. Chapter 4 was an average affair that wasn't really able to change course. So what to expect from this installment? Can it turn the tide, or will it drown the show in utter mediocrity, or worse? Hi there, it's Micha. If you want to find out my take on it, then join me for this review video. Episode 5 starts with Fury rushing the injured POTUS to a hospital, whispering him in his unconscious ear not to trust Rhodey and not to blame the Russians. Meanwhile, Gravik's second in command questions his leadership.
Fury never trusted you, and it makes me start to wonder why should we...
Which got him killed. When fake Rhodey enters the hospital, Fury got him at gunpoint but couldn't stop him due to his Secret Service escort. They allowed him to leave with the knowledge that the video of Gravik in Fury's guise killing Maria is about to drop any moment. The imposter then tells the president about the Skrull headquarters in Russia, egging him on to bomb it, hoping that the threat of World War III will blackmail Fury into giving up the DNA samples of the Avengers he has stored away and which to obtain is apparently Gravik's main objective. Meanwhile, MI6 agent Fellsworth exposes her superior as a Skrull, which leads her to capture the doctor in charge of a Super Skrull experiments. At the same time, Gravik's people try to overthrow him, ending in many of them dying. Fury then runs into Gaia, who wants to have a funeral for her father, for which he sends her to his wife Priscilla for support. After they burnt his body, they are attacked by Skrulls sent to kill Priscilla, but the women shoot them all commando style. While on the way to the airport, Fury is called by Gravik, who shares his plans, demanding the DNA samples in exchange for stopping an upcoming war. In Finland, he meets up with Fellsworth, now the acting head of MI6, to retrieve the DNA sample. He catches her up on Rhodey being a Skrull.
What?
And they gear up for the upcoming fight, which will be the show's finale. Like last week, the best I can say about this episode is that with 37 minutes runtime, it is thankfully short and somehow entertaining. As long as you don't think about the plot, because then nothing again makes sense here.
What?
Last week I called out the writers for this mess, which is fair if they were responsible. But you never know how much of the finished storyline was influenced by other people meddling with a script. If that is the case, then I apologize to the writers and pity them for that experience. If you have watched my previous reviews for this show, you know how I feel about it. Therefore I just jump straight to all the plot holes and inconsistencies. Well, the most prominent, because this video shall not be longer as the episode itself. This week it was all about the naivety things were laid out. We are supposed to believe that Fury could leave the battlefield with the president and no one else followed them? And not even a security guard was informed by the Secret Service to protect him. Fury just walked in with POTUS? Weird, but maybe possible. By the way, he whispering into the president's ear will likely be a major point in the next episode, revealing that the president only played along, but we will see. But the stupidity to think that it is believable that the president would go along with bombing Russia just because his advisor tells him that the Skrulls in the compound will be even more dangerous than World War III? Please, then the world would have already been destroyed 100 times over. Nonsense. And we are supposed to believe that Gravik was able to become a leader, gathering his people around him when he is killing everyone who dares to speak up? And calling all his fellow Skrulls unimportant and faceless? That can't be a character trait that only shows now. His general speaking up was one of the few things this week that actually made sense, but killing him off did not. It also made sense that they tried to revolt. I just hope that after he killed the mutineers, the rest of the Skrulls didn't fall in line behind him again, out of fear. Gravik's whole depiction and career doesn't really compute, and his plans make less sense as we progress. He wants to blackmail Fury into giving him the DNA samples by way of staging a war? Why should Nick comply? Because once the president would be put on the warpath, there would be no stopping it. At least not in a plausible way, but I guess we are beyond that. Also, if he needed Fury, which he even admits before killing his second in command,
You had another chance to kill Fury today, and you didn't take it.
Because he has what we need.
then why did he even order him to be killed? And why not kill him himself on the numerous occasions he had? What is it? Do you want him dead or not? Stupid is all it is. And what was the purpose of a character of Beto? He was in the main circle after a few days. How is that plausible? He obviously was only there as a story device to show us a Skrull who wants to live free and to have someone whose face we know when Gravik kills the group standing up to him. No other use and no character development at all. I also was thrown by the editing in that scene where Beto confronts Gravik, because the room was almost empty and they intercut footage of a larger group that obviously wasn't in that room. Almost felt like stock footage. One of the weirdest inserts I ever saw in a high-profile show like this. Why did Fury not shoot fake Rhodey straight away, before someone had a gun on him? Only reason is that the screenplay demanded a confrontation, and for that there needed to be a dialogue. Just one shot at the start, even just to hurt him, and everyone would have seen that he is a Skrull. He didn't even share this info with the Secret Service. Maybe someone would have believed it, or at least be on higher alert, but no, way too easy. However, that was exactly what Agent Farnsworth did a few moments later with her boss, because there the screenplay wanted that solution. Wow. Also again, why let Fury go? Why not take him in? Why not follow him? How come Gravik has Fury's phone number? And with no government resources, is the line secure? Likely not, so why not track Fury's cell phone? Are his people not able to do that? However, apparently they are able to do something on demand that no one else was able to achieve ever. Using DNA to change people, giving them desired traits in a process so easy that even Gaia could apply it to herself. And while that was even already a stretch, not everything is genetic. Still, we are supposed to think that a DNA sample from Captain Marvel can mass-produce Skrulls with her abilities? What a bullcrap! As if a 5-year-old was coming up with those storylines. At least it now makes sense why Gravik didn't turn anyone else into a Super Skrull so far, because he wants to rule them all and kill everyone in his way. This makes him such a cliché of a villain and a total idiot, because instead of all his other plots to destroy humanity, he should have just concentrated on becoming a genetically enhanced freak in secret and then utilize it to get his way. Being so visible and careless will be for sure his downfall. Another thing, when did Fury have the time to retrieve Talos' body, and why did he send Gaia home to his wife? Why was Gaia shooting it out with her attackers? Isn't she also superpowered now? It was a nice action scene, but she could have done it differently and more easily. I'm also wondering why Skrull blood has a different color, yet in the shootout scenes they all bled red. Is the blood color also changing? And none of those Skrulls seems to turn back into their original form after death. And Gaia seems to have known exactly where the weapons were, as if she was familiar with the place. More and more I think that it is not actually a mess the writers created, but the result of plot revisions, again. Likely the attackers were originally meant to be humans. Rewrites would also explain those weird inserts I mentioned earlier, and so many other inconsistencies. Gaia's character and the way she is presented also doesn't really make sense. Was she initially scripted in a completely different way? And didn't have powers in that scene? Likely we will never know, because no recuts and rewrites on their TV shows were ever officially admitted by Marvel, though they were often glaringly obvious. And after just being an information dump plot device for the first 4 episodes, Olivia Colman finally gets something to do. Though it still is a waste having her on the show and just capitalizing on a great character actor like her now at the very end. This face-changing device at the end also totally took me out of a plot. Have we seen that before? Does Fury really have that technology? Where did he get his mask? Why did he not use it more often? And why did he need it? Didn't he fly in on a private jet? He wasn't going through security or customs on his way out of the UK, so why was he going through it on his way into Finland? Was it all just to establish this utility, to use it in the finale as a Deus Ex Machina device? If so, and I am almost sure of it, it would be so embarrassingly lazy. I will now stop my rant with this last call out. If the world is at stake, saying that he has to do it without help from a superhero, as he should not always depend on them to help, is not only stupid, but so arrogant of Fury. Risking the world to show how smart he is actually already proves him wrong by definition. And with that being said, let's go to the rating. But before we go there, let me ask you to like and share this video if you enjoyed it so far. And if you are not a subscriber yet, maybe consider to change that. By also hitting the notification bell, you will get a heads up for most of my new videos. Now for the rating. Even though the action was somewhat entertaining and I really liked the actors, I couldn't really enjoy the story. I even tried to not look for plot holes, but they are staring me down so forcefully I can't overlook them. I am way past being disappointed. At this point, watching the show is just actively saddening me. They said the titles were made by an AI. I guess that is true for the story too. Like I said before, I start to heavily suspect re-edits and repurposing of scenes that were originally intended differently. But maybe I'm wrong and this really is just a shitty screenwriting job. All this episode achieved was establishing that Coleman's character is way more efficient and intelligent in handling tasks, because if Fury would have acted the way she did, the danger would already be over. I'm rating this one with 4 out of 10 points, as it was okay to watch it, even though not a joy and nothing one would likely rewatch anytime soon. Some of you may consider that too harsh, others more likely still think I rated it too high. I'm not even sure myself anymore, I just want the show to be over. What about you? What are your feelings toward the show? Can you also not look past those inconsistencies, or don't you mind them? Or have you thrown in the towel? Whatever you like to share, let me know in the comments. So much for now, see you next time and thanks for watching. I will now stop my rant with this one last call out. Sent to kill Priscilla, and why not kill him himself on the numerous occasions? Mother